We saw Overwatch 2 just last week. Rocket League here tonight. It's playoff time now. Our first matchup, Avon Lake facing off with Mason Bedford for this best of 7 territory in round number 1 of our playoffs. And Llama, I cannot wait to see this one get going.
Can't either. I mean, this is a good one to start us off on the day in a best of 7. You said it. Expand out the series, win 4, and you're moving on. Lose 4, and you are done. Single elimination is absolutely unforgiving. In towards this first one. First shot, first setup here. Already the defense is necessary for Avon Lake.
Yeah, quick start as well for both of these teams trying to punch out and get things going here. In this 4 versus 5 matchup, Avon Lake with a slight advantage, but the teams played super similarly over the course of the group stage, both landing at 2-1 overall, and both winning 6 games total, of course, with those victories. And so, of course, they want to be able to basically withstand the other team, and a good way to get that going is by having that hot start that we've seen. And both of these teams have known for it, so we'll see which one strikes first, draws first blood, and gives himself advantage in the ever-important game number 1.
Number 1, very important to showcase what you've got in terms of your immediate skill, but also it's a little bit longer of a series. We're going to have to see how good the fortitude of these players is across the day, because if you're going to win the championship, it's not just going to be one best of 7 series. For many of these teams, if you're not the number 1 seed, you have to win 3 best of 7 series if you want to hoist the trophy and all of that HyperX gear.
Mason Bedford trying to step into it. Super Space Ace will be the next one to jump into it, all the way up to the ceiling to try to get this next dodge. Directed it towards the center, but no teammate available there. That'll allow him to just step up into place and perhaps play from this corner. Icy played a little bit too long for it, played it loosely, but Avon Lake wasn't able to take advantage of it. Now they got some space to work with. Icy gonna try to draw them in. Also, they sort of waited a little bit too long, so both teams really just trying to play more conservatively. There's been opportunities, but a slow start nonetheless for both of these teams.
Patience play to start out in map number 1, where no one really wants to make the mistake. Although they aren't going super far forward, they're playing for the slow angle shots. They're playing so their rotations can start to find the issue. For Avon Lake yet to shoot a shot, and Spoons will shoot their 5th, scoring the first for Mason Bedford.
That was a great way to step up in their space, as that touch just wasn't exactly where they wanted to go. And although Alps are very close to being able to make that touch, probably on his screen he was like, hey, I touched it, I promise, but not on our screens here on the production side. So it will be that 1-0 lead for Mason Bedford, and to continue forward to try and build and establish some momentum off of it.
Already got a good lead. I mean, it's like you talk about, if you can move forward, if you could add a second or even a third goal, it'd be huge. Auxer towards the backboard there. Third man was demoed away, but still makes it awkward with a few bumps towards the back line. 5 straight shots for Mason Bedford. Avon Lake yet to show they can get the offense going. There's still half this game left to go. They're only trailing by 1. Avon Lake with 5 saves in their own right. Their defense is what they've relied on.
Certainly has been. It feels like this game has gone by very quickly. But Mason Bedford was the first to strike and really trying to push it back into it. You see a shot taken there, pretty easily handled, but the bump there, the shot a little bit wide. They'll follow it up though, as Ham got a good piece of that one to make it 2-0.
Just refusing to quit on this offensive side. Auxer didn't really have the boost, was kind of bumped off their line anyways, and him steps up for a beautiful outside paint shot, adding the 2nd goal in a row. It's also good news for Mason Bedford. It's 2 different players that score towards the back of the net, so they're just showing why they are in this playoff bracket. They're a very well-rounded team.
They are. You'll see a lot of it poke its head out throughout the entirety of this long best of 7, by the way, so this is certainly a marathon, not a sprint. You'll see these teams kind of settle in because of that, so a lot of analyzing the other team, making sure that you have the right plan of action to move forward. Obviously, you can make adjustments along the way, but you want to stay true to your gameplay overall, and right now, both of these teams liked it. Really play the possession game, play a little bit of that slower pace matchup, and right now, this will play into the hands of Mason Bedford, at least for game number 1.
Feeling good so far with a 2-goal advantage, but Avon was actually the team that had the #1 seeded Benjamin Franklin High School in their group, so a really tough one to actually escape. They made it to the playoffs, and now everything is in front of them. Of course, the demos are going to help out. If they can build up this sidewall dig, Icy has been able to shut down a lot through the center of the field, and with only 60 seconds to go, Avon Lake still searching for an answer.
And it's killing more time as they're in the offensive zone, and it continues to be that way. Super Space Ace will take to the skies, but Icy gonna cut him off there. And Cobb kept backwards, try to gain this possession once more, but every time they do, there's a challenge inevitably. Cobb kept though, got up to it, 2 in the corner. Now's a great opportunity, finds Alxer there with a back pass, but Spoons read it well.
They're into perfection. They got the library card, swipe it a few times here because it's under 30 seconds to go and it's not much boost on this orange defensive half. Can you read it out? It looks like for Cobcap, the shot was there, but the defense still holds, still clearing, and still playing towards perfection in their corner. Another good aerial read here that cuts it down to 10 seconds. A goal was needed yesterday here for Avon Lake, and the clearance should seal the deal. Mason Bedford go back-to-back goals in their opener, and they're going to be victors of this game 1.
Yeah, they got out to that 2-0 lead with just past the halfway mark, I believe, of game #1. And when that happens, they really were just kind of able to ride the waves and hold on, it felt like. Avon Lake had a great opportunity on multiple occasions, I believe, down the stretch there. And when that happened, Mason Bedford was up for the challenge defensively. I still don't think they were perfect by any stretch of the imagination. So even though you do see that it was a shutout on paper, Avon Lake certainly had a lot of opportunities that were developed that they just couldn't quite finish. So certainly not the end of the world that you're going to catch a 2-0 on the wrong side of that one for Avon Lake, but Mason Bedford did everything they needed to secure that game #1, but they're going to have to clean it up a little bit more, especially when Avon Lake gets cooking. When they start to really find their stride, it'll be a little bit more difficult, seeing as Avon Lake certainly put on some challenges that was pretty tough to handle.
Yeah, I mean, they had 5 shots. Surprisingly, didn't score one towards the end where everybody, it felt like, was a low boost on the Mason Bedford side. The good news is, as we both said, it's a best of 7. I mean, this second game is going to really tell us where we're going to go with the series, who's going to come out on top. And of course, if you are Mason Bedford, you take this for what it is. It's a game victory. If you can add another on top of this, it makes it so much harder to come back in the series from that 2-game deficit.
Definitely does. You got to be able to bounce back here. That 2-0 is definitely difficult if you fall to that degree. So I just see a quick answer back. I think Avon Lake certainly proved that in the last stretch of game #1, they started to figure things out. It's a long series. We mentioned that they would be trying to do that at the beginning of the series. And of course, that's what we got to see a little bit. I thought Avon Lake played a better game overall than we saw from Mason Bedford at the tail end of that game, the last minute and a half or so. So we'll see if they continue that here as we begin game #2 now. And knocking on the doorstep is Mason Bedford. Trying to build off that game 1 victory. I see a big part of that. You mentioned and called out his midfield presence, and sure enough, it still will continue here. Didn't get a touch on that occasion, but still in the right positioning overall.
It's a demo. Nice little 2-for-2 trade, and Spoons are trying to play that 2v2 back up towards the side wall where interceptions have been critical for Avon Lake. Their offense is built off these really unique 50-50s that they just target through the skyline. But instead, Mason Bedford, their offensive plan is we're just going to win every single touch and force you into the back end. It took some time to get the first goal on the board for Mason Bedford in that last game. I don't think they have to be too panicked if they haven't scored quite yet.
Bedford doing a great job of stretching the field as well. There's been a lot of occasions where they haven't had to rush, but they're diving at it, right? Trying to get a pre-flip to get an additional touch. And so when you see this and recognize this as Avon Lake, you're going to have to be able to read these plays a little bit quicker. And when you do, you'll have a lot of space to work with yourself for some counterattack. So keep an eye on that. And Mason Bedford shouldn't have to dive for these. I'd like to see them with a little bit tighter passing. Simplify your gameplay. Right now they have a series lead, but if that continues, it could eventually spell trouble if Avon Lake can catch on.
You're in this playoff bracket for a reason. Super Space goes forward with some pressure and almost bounces it low off a Spoon save. It's Cobb Kemp with another shot that doesn't even count as a shot. Saved too quickly here, and the defense is once again what is keeping Mason Bedford alive. It kept the scoreline 2-0 at the end of that last game. It's keeping them at 0-0 here in this one, and this is where they succeed. They transition up the field and attack those boosts.
both of that and, Avon Lake not quite being able to finish whenever they do see that opportunity present itself. So they get that, but they leave it on the doorstep. Somehow Comcap was able to react in time. Another shot taken there from Icy on the side wall. A couple of opportunities there. A little bit dangerous from Avon Lake, but they were able to hold strong.
That early touch, though, man, from him has just got 0 boost, but is it showing? It gives it away to the teammate. Spoon sets up for the third, but Icy can't finish the job quite yet. Nobody able to find that goal. Auxer, the low pass isn't good enough because him waits it. It's another demolition, but the angle is too tight to try and score it. Icy down low, no double touch available. The defenses are playing out of their minds.
They're on every single ball. The reads are incredible. They look to continue that too. A good tap down there from him as Icy was looking to jump right back on it. Spoon's able to meet them there. The 50-50 at midfield. Race tries to hold on to a defensive battle that we've seen so far. These teams positionally sound. You said both teams don't want to make a mistake. Well, I thought that was going to be a game 1 trend, but certainly it's extended here in this game number 2.
It's playoffs. It's single elimination. I wouldn't want to be the team that steps too far forward and gives over this first goal, especially at a 0-0 scoreline. That's a great touch from Super Space Ace, but it's an even better touch from Spoons, who deals off that sidewall. Long-range clearance, just gonna bounce it off the post. Him, true to the namesake, scores one.
It was tracking that the whole way. I didn't think it was going to make it in. I thought it was going to go far bar and just bounce out. But that one, a little bit of ball luck there. And when goals are coming at premium, you take them any way that they come. And that one certainly wasn't their prettiest, but they certainly won't ask why it was the case. Mason Bedford again on top here. And now it makes it even more difficult for Avon Lake, especially when they haven't scored a goal in the series yet.
Only got the 2 shots as well in this game, and I think you've got about 80 seconds left to go in this one. You've got to put everything on the board. Going down 2 games to a rival state right next to you is not what you want here as the 4-5 seed battle. And I think for Mason Bedford, it's all about control. Sure, another goal would be nice, but if they can just keep on this offensive side, Avon Lake is going to have no space to play.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw that, but Spoon's feeling very confident. Worked it backwards and tried to get like a psycho of sorts. It was super low, but it was back towards his own end. But that's that possession game where you want to go backwards. It was just a little bit risky in my eyes, for my taste, for sure. But they somehow got out with it regardless, just from his straight great control. But right on cue, or more so jinxed, was him, as he wasn't able to get that touch, and now it's left in the zone. We'll see if Auxer can get to it. He cannot. It'll be Super Space Ace finds Cobb, and they will find their first goal of this series in a good time nonetheless.
Just a ricocheting monster here as Comcap finds the goal off of just a beautiful pass, and I think mostly because that pass just threw off the rotation, set everybody coagulating together on that defensive line. The shot was nice and easy, nice and clean. 30 seconds to go. We're all tied up in a close game number 2.
Once more, this one dangerous through the box. And it ended up on the hood of Super. Could not quite find that next touch. And barely getting another one here, striking in. Avon Lake suddenly have woken up. That's another one. Super Space Ace with a clean solo play with just 10 seconds left to take the lead.
Look what Auxer does as well. I mean, just starts that passing play and then kind of throws the body into the corner, forcing the defense to play reactive. And when you've got a one-on-one PK and you've got the angle over him, it's going to score every time. 2 straight goals with under 45 seconds to go. Icy trying to delay another one, but it's Spoons and crew that need a goal. 000s now or never. Spoons gets the drop down. Auxer's going to jump it. Icy backboard setup. Spoons is going to take the shot at it far down to the ground. Avon Lake survive game 2.
Oh, by just inches. That one rang off the post, and they added that sound in Rocket League not too long ago, and that's never the time you want to hear it, right when you're just about to strike in and get that equalizer. So Mason Bedford still sticking around. Avon Lake, though, was able to dig deep. I mean, we talked about it. They were goalless over the first game and a half, and then suddenly able to find one, and then they came back to back. So sometimes it takes a little bit of luck, a little bit of a bounce there, as we saw from Cobcap, but they were able to get it done. 5 saves from that squad. They also were able to put up 6 shots. Mason Bedford still outshot them by 2 at that 8 mark, but certainly weren't able to find it through. That defense continues from Avon Lake.
It was the defensive battle. Honestly, throughout that first 2.5 minutes, we didn't really get any goals. All three of them coming very late. And Avon, they showed in game number 1 they've got a really good defense. But this second game, what was so special to me was they just brought a lot of mechanics. Whatever confidence they gained from game number 1 absolutely worked here in game number 2. Throwing bodies towards the sky, finding perfect passing plays. And now, Bear, we've got an all tied up series.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, well, let's get back into it. Game number 3 about to begin as Avon Lake was able to draw even here. Mason Bedford certainly made it close there towards the end, made it interesting. They look to find another win here in the series. It will not be match point for the one who wins like it was yesterday. It's still a best-of-7 series, and we're already in a good place. We knew that the 4-5 seed battle would not disappoint, and so far this series has been a good one. Certainly super close. Although it hasn't been perfect, both teams still looking to clean it up. You know, they're going to need it as the play-in of this one will go and face that number 1 seed like we mentioned. So you always have to be ready because Benjamin Franklin High School, you know they're watching this game, studying throughout the entirety of this best-of-7 as well.
Prepping as well. And the number 1 seed, how about a force of a triple commit? They look so clean throughout their matches yesterday. Cobb Kemp, long-range shot there is going to find off the heels of Spoons. And Spoons has to carry this all the way out. Looks like we actually got a game crash notification up there, but we'll have to see if they just keep playing it on. And that's what it looks like him wants to do, playing it through the corner and putting the pressure in.
Yeah, unlucky. We saw an example of this yesterday as well, so not sure what's happening. Unfortunately, it looks like a little bit of a bug, if you will. I'm not talking about in-game. But either way, he got a play on. And they do reconnect, so a little bit of a slower, or a little bit of a non-lengthy one, luckily. Because, I mean, that could really affect you as a team, but Avon Lake instead, they're able to get them back to the lobby, so no harm done.
Get all three back in, and there's still no scores on the board. So you can put that offense forward, put it into that next gear as a demo comes through on the outward rotation. It almost messes up Super as they tread back into dangerous waters on their own defensive side. There's not a lot of boost on this orange side either. They're trying to fight this offensive side with mechanics, with show, and it's just a long-range clear that Spoons just to barely keep out of their own net.
Spoons will have possession. You know what he's capable of when he gets in the air. That's a flip reset in hand. Him will follow it up as well. Great job to start it up from him. And credit for Spoons, rather, him able to follow it up with the bullet of a shot with it he can't handle.
I think that is just insane. I mean, Spoons, the full setup gets not only the flip reset, but it's the tiniest touch I've ever seen. Off of the front left part of the car, sets up the passing play. And now they've got the lead. After dropping that game number 2, Mason Bedford would love nothing more than to retake the series advantage back towards their side. It's actually them who are being outshot here in this game number 3, 4-2. And there's a clanker off the crossbar that adds shot number 5.
He's going to try and extend the pitch here. Spoons up for it. They get that touch. Had it not been for the defender back there, might have had a chance to direct that one on angle. I mean, he had a lot of height, plenty of boost in the tank. It was defended well once more. Not surprised I'm saying that because both of these teams have been that outstanding. But now Icy has the chance. Try to press in the box. Wasn't able to get that touch though. Elxer gets to it. Still a little bit handcuffed. They're low on boost. And Elxer is just going to have to toss it over to Super Ace here. Super Space Ace. Now tries to chase it down into the corner. Cobb will turn it directly in. Both teams just kind of playing back and forth, able to get it to the opposing corner, but nothing further.
Defensive back and forth volleyball game. Who's that benefit? Honestly, it feels like for Mason Bedford because they've got the advantage. Their defense hitting at a 4 save count right now. Demo comes in and the dangerous back pass comes through from Spoons, who gives it over the teammate. Icy's over 1, passing off the backboard, sets up, but Auxer reads it through and through. Defense collects again. Now Auxer's like, I'll take it in my own right, back the other way for the setup pass. Off the backboard, nobody's there! The 1-2-3 for Cobb kept to slice that lead down.
Sometimes you just have to create your own space, and that's what they were able to do with all those bumps, getting physical with it, and nobody leapt back because of it. So great opportunity to dive out in front, get physical, and suddenly with a minute 27, you've turned the tide in Avon Lake. Last time they scored, they were able to score basically back-to-back within 30 seconds or so. We'll see if they can do it again, and that's a great job from Auxer to make sure it's not the other way.
Starts so good for Auxer. Just the presence of mind, knowing where they are in space on that backboard, and not only be able to get that to clear it away from danger, and then sending it forward and allowing the teammates to feel confidence, to get up in the sky, and to play at their highest level. Kep just goes for the shot, and I don't blame him. It's going to be saved, though, by Spoons.
Killing his Auxer. We'll try to follow up on this one as well. Super Space Ace to turn on it. He's on from the side wall. Icy just kind of hanging back on that back wall. Wants to play that positionally. They waited too long, but him somehow was able to read that and make the save. Now Icy tries to play it linked wide, pitch wide. And him is being chased down. Super Space Ace was able to get it through the box and out, but nobody was able to punch that one in. Maybe less expected than they thought. Still back up to the ceiling. Icy able to punch it out, but Auxer does a great job to hold strong as the third man back.
Auxer was very far forward, almost above the halfway marker. Good to block it for him. It's that midfield presence both teams are going to look to show with overtime just 15 seconds away. This is the longest 15 seconds ever. A goal could give you a game. A goal could give you the series advantage. And Kep, 0 boost in the tank, will earn a bump, will send the pass in, and him just wants to deal it away. Super Space Ace sits off the ceiling and down to the ground. Overtime we go.
Yeah, I like that decision, especially with 0 seconds left. Just punch it off the ceiling. If the teammate's there, great. If not, it's just going to hit the ground because you saw the space that your opposing team and Mason Bedford were giving you. So, I like that decision here. First overtime of the day. Auxer will pull it down. He's going to be challenged by Ibra. Now this one's open, though. The demo frees it up, and him will clear and finish. It'll be a 2-1 win here in game number 3 for Mason Bedford.
Just an unfortunate kind of team bump demo combination. Him is in the right place at the right time, swarming towards that paint side. Mason Bedford go 1 for 1 for 1, and they're the team that scored first, so they do it again. Ability to take the series advantage is theirs, and they're 1 game closer to keeping their playoff bracket run alive. Of course, 2 more wins still needed. It's not like yesterday where we're playing the best of 5s. It is those best of 7s, so you need 4 wins if you want to move your way forward.
I like the way that him has stepped up. I mean, that's a big name to fill, isn't it? Like, you chose, you have to be him if at the end of the day, and a couple of goals will certainly prove that they're on their way to that title, or at least looking to make that in our brains. So 2 for 2 shooting's not bad, huh? At the end of the day, 100% shooting on that side. And although Kep took 6 shots for Avon Lake, like you mentioned, just 1 goal on their side. So the shots are still there, the pressure's still there. It's just the timing needs to be there as well, and being able to finish those shots. A lot of them are unthreatening. Mason Bedford, yes, they've made some pretty big saves. They've had some good speed and recovery speed there to get to those saves, but they also need to be able to, not only make those saves, but be able to transition them to the other side. I think Avon Lake had issues with that whenever they got on the defensive side. Their shots are there, but not very threatening. So I'd like to see them maybe work the ball around a little bit more, come at them with a few different angles, and then maybe they'll find some success.
Game's been really close, too. I mean, you can't hang your head just yet. You've got a chance to battle back in this series. But if you lose this next game as Avon, you gotta win 3 straight. Let's see it. It's game number 4, and him is already starting off with the fake! Oh, the patience is dastardly.
Oh, it's always so devastating as a defender to have to try to defend this one. And him, oh, the head fake was so clean with it, too. Love to see it, adding to the title, no doubt about it. That was absolutely clean, a 1-0 lead here from Mason Bedford. And off the kickoff, they'll also win it. It's over to Spoons to try to start this off. It's exactly what you wanted here as this team continues to try and truck in. As the advantager, it's a good way to start to try to match up to match point.
This offense has been unrelenting, and I think adding a kickoff goal makes them even more dangerous. Super Space has to gain it out of the corner, sealing it away and putting over these first 30 seconds with only a 1-goal deficit. I think for right now, Avon, their ideal scenario is just getting it out of the zone. They've got no boost. It's off the backboard again. They're only able to deal with those corner full pads, and finally, Kep gets something downfield.
Yeah, when he does, it's just a turnover of possession as him was ready for it, well positioned in order to look to play it back into the Avon Lake zone. Super Space Ace, great patience as well, but Spoons, you can say the same. Tracked it all the way from that back wall and will have a clean carry. Out to him, who will try to punch it forward off the 50-50. A back pass, they can't get to it. That one off the post. A little bit close, but Comcab able to get to that one. Another dangerous ball. Spoons will keep it that way. Him dropped all the way back from Boost. Otherwise, that would have been 3 or 4 opportunities for Mason Bedford. It was still a good 3, so they're certainly putting on the pressure, but Super Space Ace has other ideas with the equalizer.
Super Space Ace, and an acronym is SSA, and boy, that one was sent all the way from the SSA region into the goal. A long-range shot from Avon Lake that puts them tied up in this game, and they are just attacking at every angle. When they get to the offensive side, these last 30 seconds, they're not giving anything. They're deciding where those goals are going to go. Another great intercept, and they're starting to put on that pressure and fight that offense.
That's him. We're getting glued to his car as he tried to march it out this center field. And a demo on the back line here. Super Space Ace just trying to create some team, space for his team, rather. XS, the sub-in here for Avon Lake, which we haven't covered until this point in time. Be able to jump in here and make a difference. Just 2 minutes played as we find ourselves in another relatively defensive battle here. Not a whole lot of goals have gone on the board. It just speaks to the discipline of both of these teams as they've stuck to their guns very early. Another demo. It's also getting physical as time goes on.
That's what I love. I mean, give us some more demos. An absolute show these players have put on, while also showing said patience. They know it's a Nationals match. They know it's 4-5, the closest initial seeding matchup of this playoff bracket. It's a best of 7. You gotta keep working. You gotta keep going. Super Space has just got some crazy mechanics. Help them get the offensive zone again.
Can't get past NXS. Made it difficult. Spoons had to dive in though, and it's super awkward. Came for the sky in order to try to get a pinch out. Ibra on it now. Going his back wall to Super Space Ace, able to fight it off. Now we'll collect it and move it forward there. Use a little bit of the height from the wall in order to get it out to center field, but him will track it well. Already up. Spoons was thinking about getting it from the ceiling, but thought differently. And Super Space Ace, once more, I mean, both of these teams, they look great on the defensive side, but for some reason, the transitioning part is difficult. We've seen both teams kind of toss away possession. It's been leading to these opportunities all the other way, so I think the team that can really clean it up in the midfield will have the best opportunity in advancing to the second round.
Opportunity is right there now. That second round matchup might not be the easiest draw in the world, but it is going to be a matchup that continues your streak, that gives you a chance to send yourself through to the finals. And if you happen to beat that #1 seed that awaits the winner of this one, you could just be confidence-filled to move on to those grand finals.
Ultimate goal. It'll take a mental strength for sure, fortitude. It'll be a longer day, no doubt, for whoever advances through. But you have to give it your all in every single round regardless. It's not like you can take off time or go a little bit less strong at the beginning. You know these matchups all are going to be good. I mean, these are all national champions or those who have made appearance in a national state champions, rather. So each of these teams are certainly going to bring a battle, and we've seen that already over the course of this day and yesterday as well. Good Bob catches a demo here, a little bit of space. Him, even if he got it, touch was working backwards there, so I didn't like the look. He didn't either, so he didn't get that touch.
Truly get what they wanted, but it's still 1-1. At this point, it is anybody's game. Who wins it more in these next 30 seconds, or else we're headed over to another overtime. I am down for it. Some extra Rocket League along on top of the best of 7s. Pricey and crew just playing the midfield. Don't want to give over anything easy, but Comcab has got off the backboard. It's a dancer across the goal line. And Super Space Ace looks for something more. Spoons 2v1 the other way and just scores it. This is Scholastic. This is Spoons.
The flick got them going backwards. Him, well, didn't have to do much, but still got in the minds of Cobb, who tried to dive at it. Thought it was going to go off the bar and out, but it was in. Mason Bedford will move to match point now. After winning the first game and being able to find some traction after the game 2 loss, they have been excellent ever since.
The Michiganders are up now 3-1, and The reignition of the war that started over Toledo, Ohio versus Michigan, now reinvigorating itself in the Rocket League arena for Avon. They've got to find 3 wins in a row. It's got to feel a little bit heartbreaking to lose that last game, knowing you were right there. You had just answered. You had found a way to bring it towards a tied margin, and then it slipped just barely.
Exactly right, and every single game has been close, which makes it a little bit more frustrating, but at the end of the day, you got to stay calm, cool, collected like Mason Bedford did. I mean, they're from Temperance, Michigan right now. They're pretty temperate. And really just calm, cool, collected, it seems. They've been doing a great job of playing off of one another, playing for each other as well. They're constantly working in support, not trying to dive out and overcommit, of course, but whenever they do see some trouble with one of their teammates, they have certainly been able to step up in those big moments. With an overtime winner a little bit earlier in this one was Avon Lake, so, I mean, they've got the clutch factor as well. They're going to have to bring it now as they're down 3-1 in the series. They need to win 3 in a row.
We said it. I mean, there's no more second chances. You've made it towards today. You did a really good effort. Like we said, every team to even make it towards yesterday and make it towards that round-robin phase had to appear in one of those state championships. And now to get towards day number 2, it's an absolute accomplishment. What's even better than an accomplishment is a trophy and some HyperX gear still on the line for the victor here today.
Find ourselves at Neo Tokyo here for game number 5. For Space Ace with some space, try to return the favor of the fake that we saw a little bit earlier. Remember, him was the one dishing it out a little bit earlier, so love to see them go back at it, trying to find a little bit of revenge, but it did not work in this occasion at least. As Spoons from that corner tried to spoon feed a teammate in Ibra. Eventually did step up for it, but it's all the way back to center. Hands will have to start from there. Has a flip reset in pocket. Super Space Ace distracted because of it. And he can bump off the bat. Third man all the way up. So Calm Kev will take advantage of that one. Caught Ibra slipping a little bit.
Just a really good read. And honestly, no boost. Literally nothing in the tank. Kev just holding the patience. You shoot that a half second earlier, and that's going to be saved. You shoot it a half second later, it's going to be in the back of your net off of a 50-50 loss. The perfect timing right in between that Goldilocks zone. And an early goal much needed from Avon Lake. Now the question is, can you hold this 1-goal lead for 4 minutes?
For Space Ace, did a great job of just playing it off a defender there to play it to themselves up the sidewall. A crafty touch. But it'll find its way right back to Super Space Ace. He'll punch it in, try to get it off the corner now. Kopkep was fought off by Ibra. This one will play the length of the pitch as well as Super Space Ace will jump on it. Now looking around, he was on ball cam that whole time, made it difficult, but still gets that touch. Him eventually does step over and make the big save, and now it'll be Mason Bedford's turn to try to play on the opposite side of the ball. And they do. They will get this one, equalizer. 3:31 left, so great strong work after it was Avon Lake that was pressing.
I mean, what is it with these goals on 0 boost? Now back-to-back goals with pretty much nothing in the tank. But that's the fun part is, we can see those boost meters, the players on their teams can see the boost meters, but of course the opposing teams cannot. So having that skill factor of, okay, I have no boost, but still am able to make a play is something critical that all 6 of these players really have.
It's something that these players have been doing since the beginning of time. The boost meters added to the game just a season ago. Ibra now gonna try to get it through. A 1v1 on Super Space Ace. Didn't quite find the advantage from it, but still will punch back. Your Spoons already on it. The corner NXS will go. We'll just launch it out. Him. Some space, shadowing his Super Space Ace. He missed that corner boost as well. Leaves it wide open, and Spoons will take advantage of it. You hate to see it from Avon Lake, but one little mistake like that can certainly lead to a chance the other way.
The passing is just insane. I mean, for Spoons, kind of gets it off the backboard, but him, it was that bonk play. Sends it right off their nose, sends it right in towards the grasp of their teammate, and that trust. Instead of saying, okay, I'm going to take it as a solo play, which, by the way, we've seen him score a ton of those solo plays already here today. It's, I'll give it to my teammate. I'll give them that credit, and we'll take the lead as a team. You can tell they want it more than anything, and they're up by 1. Him's going to get another great chance. This one falling post-secondary shot off the bench goes wide.
I thought him was actually going to find that angle. It looked like a dirty one, like there was no possible chance and still almost ring off that post. But now the opportunity the other way, and Super Space Ace will take advantage of it. It's a great chance to get that pass from NXS. Will be credited with this one. Great pre-flip there to set him up too.
NXS doing what has been a classic move here all the day today and putting the body on the line. That slight tilt towards the goal sends the defender awry in the decision making. It's already back to a 2-2. So for Super Space Ace and the rest of the crew, it has got to still be another goal and a goal lead that they need to win this game and start to put back this series. However, it is a team on the other side, the Mason Bedford crew from Michigan, that are outshooting them 5-4 and not outscoring them quite yet as this defense saves another.
It's got a little bit of space. Super Space Ace has been great at finding the right spot to be able to cut across and not in front of a teammate either. Just rightly positioned. Now has another opportunity. I think Cobcat was trying to get around that one, but didn't have the speed necessary nor the boost or to get around it and punch it back to the middle. That's where NXS will come in handy. Now we'll get it to the front of the net, front of the cage, trying to find it back down to find a teammate. Cobcap doesn't see one, so he'll play backwards to where NXS can step up on his place once more. Spoons challenges Super Space Ace. Although he gets the touch, it'll be him with the next one. Cobcap did track it down, but only get as far as midfield before he's demoed off and bodied. And Spoons will try to play from center field. And now we find ourselves at a stalemate. Super Space Ace trying to change that with a shot, but Iber's good for it.
Saves. Everybody here on the Mason Bedford defensive side have got at least one. And NXS, you talk about this crew that continues to put on effort. From NXS, I think he's just going to try and repeat the success of that last passing play, find another good give and go, but it's nightmares of that last game. It is a tied up scenario with limited time left to go. This is exactly where Mason Bedford clutched last time.
See if they do it again. It's Avon Lake with the first couple of opportunities. This one to NXS, and just a little touch is all it takes to go to the far side post, find some space, and a 3-2 advantage now from Avon Lake Kabuayo.
One that stays inside the school speed limit of 25 miles an hour, rocking in at only 23. But good enough for the goal, good enough for the score. Absolutely huge here from Avon. They've got to keep going. They've got to deny Spoons here, who flip resets them to oblivion. We're back to tied up.
A big goal in such a big moment. You just surrendered the lead, and Spoons with a flip reset. And Super Space Ace was tracking him along the way. It's not like he was just completely out in left field trying to dive at that one. Had a good read on it. No, sir. Not able to get to it. Spoons just a little bit better to equalize. It almost punches that one in as well.
13 seconds to go. I mean, this is it. This is the scenario again. Does anybody got a goal? Who wants it right here, right now with 5 to go? Cobcap and the team are actually in a great position. Spoons is going to send it up off the backboard. Super Space Ace gets a touch as well. Spoons long range clear. Cobcap sending down. Another overtime is where we head.
Yeah, Faked it didn't want any piece of this because they're probably a little bit nervous. They're not going to have any time to talk this over. It's do or die time. Next goal for Mason Bedford will advance them on to the next level, but can they get it done? The team from Michigan looks to close it out. Meanwhile, Avon Lake, the Esports Ohio powerhouses, will now try to keep their series alive as that one rang off the crossbar, or sorry, went up the ceiling first before it directed back down. They're not able to get it towards net. They're looking to direct it once more, but him will stand tall from that back line as well.
The defense from him, I like what they showed in terms of the adaptation, not just playing on that offensive side, but all the way through midfield. For him, now they've got to be that one that recollects as the third man, calms things down, sends an awkward back pass in. And again, this is what Avon has been doing to score so much this game. They've been putting on the challenges, putting Mason Bedford on those back heels. All it takes is one goal right now.
Cobcap is looking for blood. Well, they're trying to get that dump, right? Super Space Ace now will float it high. Great touch past one, but wasn't able to do much further. Will allow Cobb to step up, though. And try to play it past one. Cobb back on it. eyeballing in excess across the pitch, but that's a long way to try to go with that pass. It left it quite open there for Mason Bedford, and it's wide open for them, and they'll advance to the next round with an overtime winner once more, 122 into overtime.
These pass is just incredible. It should be the MVP play, and it is. Spoons gets the goal off of it, but all of that work Mason Bedford did in those past 2 games works up towards this moment right here. Advancing on with a 4-1 score count. I mean, heck of a series, though. You talk about very, very close games, a lot of 1-score games to decide this best of 7.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You have to be ready from the get-go. This team was. Spoons and him, a deadly combination. Ibra, who I've actually known for quite a long time, used to pop into the streams from time to time. Shout out Ibra. Being that solid third rock, right? You have to have positionally sound all the time to allow your playmakers to get going. They can't unless you step up as well. So shout out to Ibra holding it down too. Certainly we saw some plays out of him, but that was just certainly a full team effort. All 3 team members looking to step up, and the team from Temperance, Michigan will be moving on to face the Benjamin Franklin team that we got to see yesterday.
Bracket continues on. That was one of our best of 7s finished up and done. Of course, the rest of that first round does have to play out to find who is going to be those other semifinalists that we're going to be watching first. We're going to be jumping around. We won't miss a semifinal. We'll see the grand finals. But before we get there, we do have to take just a little bit of a break. Get ourselves and the lobby all set up to go. So make sure during the break you're checking out all of what League OS has to offer, along with the OS portal as well. But don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with a semifinal best of 7.